So I saw an article last week that came out saying that Mayor Lightfoot is now providing high-speed internet to 10,000 CPS students. And at first read, and really overall, I am happy about that, right? But how could we be even more innovative, right? We need to continue to move the ball forward. We have to address the concerns and the needs of this younger generation in a very tangible way. So, an idea could have been okay, you're forming a relationship with an internet service provider, so probably Comcast or Spectrum, someone who provides internet in the Chicagoland area. They are now bringing on 10,000 net new users. They will then use that data that they're receiving from these 10,000 users who are accessing Facebook, accessing Amazon, accessing a lot of these sites. You will then have that data. An internet service provider, we know that laws allow for you to sell that data to marketers. So marketers can then market to that new audience and see if they can get them to convert. Fair. That's the game that we're playing. So I think we should look at the way that the game is played. You're bringing on 10,000 net new users. That's 10,000 new possible consumers for these marketers. I believe that we should take the pool of users that you're bringing online, separate them out into this premium category of users. And if marketers want to market to these users, they pay a premium. And what is that premium going to pay for? The premium then pays for a fund that is controlled by this community of 10,000 students. And then you allow for these students to submit ideas that already have funding. Already have funding from the money that you make from these marketers. You have the infrastructure to set up different audiences and to pass them over to marketers and allow for them to market to them, right? Let's segment out these 10,000 users, right? Let's create a premium, right? And we take the premium. I understand you have a cost structure. Let's take a look at the cost structure down to the gigahertz. But we take that premium, we create a fund that is managed by those 10,000 students, right? Not everyone is going to be actively participating in it, but you allow for the community to select what projects they want to prioritize. And you believe in them to do so. I did a scholarship program last year where I open sourced ideas, and the winner received $2,000. And I guarantee you, the ideas that you hear from these students are unique, they're thoughtful. These are the people who are on the ground. So if you create that fund that gives you some marketing credibility, that gives the marketers who decide to pay for that segment some goodwill, right? It allows for them to say, as an advertiser or whoever's placing those ads, hey, if we buy this premium audience, it's investing back into the south and west side of Chicago. And guess what happens when you invest in communities? People then have more money. Guess what they do when they have more money? They spend more. Re-engage users into the economy, right? 10,000 new people. It's not just students. It's now the household, right? So your brother, your sister, the mom, the dad, they all have access to the internet, right? A community-led fund that comes from charging a premium for this marketing cohort. Do you think it's really possible? I mean, I definitely think that it will be a project I will be able to do. I mean, it isn't really as difficult as you might think. They have to have the infrastructure already built out. It's just shifting the mindset, right? And getting people behind the idea at this point. The idea is solid. I mean, I'm sure there's things I can't think about from their cost structure, but in terms of selling that in the marketplace of data, it is a very tangible way to differentiate the data that you have, right? If you look at Chicago's west side and south side map, you're looking at it, it's like people are making less than $20,000 a year. You know, that is unfathomable, especially when you have a family. I mean, I guess you could also just go with a VPN and just set up a virtual private network for all of the students, right? Just invest in an infrastructure for a VPN, and you can always just sidestep the internet service provider, right? Because why deliberate back and forth with their policies and their thoughts on things? Why not just build a virtual private network which encrypts all of the data that will go over that internet service provider's landlines, right? All of their lines would then have data in it that's encrypted. And they can't sell encrypted data to anybody, but you as a virtual private network, your internet service center would have all of that data. And then you can let the community decide what to do with it. Maybe you just say, hey, this is the most secure network you can access with a VPN. And you don't got to worry about your data being sold off. Maybe it's just as simple as that. Maybe we think about, hey, do we want to be able to sell our data or not? You let the community decide. And you sell them on the idea of having this fund for them to be able to use if they do let us use their data.